I'm Congressman Josh Gottheimer, and I'm so proud to represent New Jersey's 5th Congressional District. I'm honored to join you all here for such an important conversation. I just wish I could be with you in person, because I know while it can be difficult at times, this is a very important conversation that we must have, and one that we must come together around to find solutions for our community. While we deal with the COVID-19 pandemic and the health and economic crisis, the opiate epidemic has continued to absolutely devastate families across New Jersey, and their stories are not always being told. CDC data shows that opiates are the single leading cause of drug-related deaths, with about 70% of all drug-related casualties caused by opioids. So far this year, there have been more than 2,000 drug-related overdose deaths in our state. This is sadly just between January and September of this year. More than 300 of these deaths occurred in the counties that make up the 5th Congressional District: Warren, Sussex, Passaic, and Bergen counties. New Jersey has in fact tightened its prescribing limits, but we also know that fentanyl and synthetic drugs largely pose an ever-increasing threat and have been associated with the recent increase of overdose deaths throughout the entire Northeast region. In addition, American adults have sharply increased their consumption of alcohol during the COVID-19 crisis, drinking on more days per month and to greater excess. In fact, research has shown that economic stress, rising unemployment, and the general upheaval we've experienced throughout this pandemic corresponds directly with rising rates of self-medicating, drug use, and alcohol abuse. No family should feel alone in this fight. That's why we must come together to find ways to help those with addiction and their families. You know, my fundamental responsibility as your congressman is to help keep our families and communities safe. And I will never stop fighting to do so. Despite the many challenges we face, despite all that's going on in the world right now, we must not give up. We cannot lose faith. We are fortunate to live here and to share the same values, the same Jersey values. It's vital that we listen to the stories coming out of so many of our local communities to understand the pain that drug use or alcohol abuse has caused for you or a loved one, to hear what steps you think we should take. You know, my door will always be open to you, and I will never stop fighting for you and for everyone in our communities and for all our families and children to be safe. I know that when we come together to solve these problems, our best days will always be ahead of us here in the greatest country in the world. Thank you. God bless you. May God bless the United States of America. Stay safe. Thank you.
Good afternoon. This is Nick DeMoro, Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer for LEAD, Law Enforcement Against Drugs and Violence. Many of you probably remember me as a retired detective with the New Milford Police Department. But more importantly, I'm here to speak about Adam Roth, a great student, a great athlete, and someone who's been very special to me. As I also remembered as I was the former head baseball coach at New Milford High School, former assistant head football coach at New Milford High School, coached on the state championship teams. And Adam was a very important part of my life, as all the athletes are. The challenges that have faced society throughout the years are amazing. And to see his legacy continue is just outstanding. Joe Lunam and his family, who have endured such pain themselves, it's just not imaginable what kind of ups and downs we have in life. But seeing Adam's legacy live on is something very important to me. You know, I was thinking about Adam the other day. I remember, one of the toughest things a baseball coach has to do is take a pitcher out of a game. And I just remember the intestinal fortitude that Adam had and how he was just such a competitor. And I remember once walking up to the mound, he was like, I don't want to come out. And that's what I loved about Adam. He was just a great young man, and to tragically end his life so soon, it's hard to imagine. But I'm glad we're keeping his legacy alive and understanding that alcoholism and drug abuse is a very important part of our society, and we have to address those issues. And I'm also concerned now with the legalization of marijuana in New Jersey. We have to educate our children more about the consequences of the challenges they're going to be facing in their lives. So another year goes by. I'm going to make every attempt Sunday night to get to the pond to light a candle, and I hope you all do too. And on behalf of LEAD and behalf of Adam and the Lunam family, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to participate in something special. Thank you.
Addiction does not discriminate. We must take a stand together to help each other and to help save lives. Together, we can raise awareness. Together, we can speak openly and honestly.
Addiction does not discriminate. It does not see race, gender, age, or wealth. We must take a stand together to save lives, to build a better future, and to end this stereotype surrounding these tragic losses. We must speak openly and honestly about substance abuse.
Hey guys, my name is Jordan and I am a recovering drug addict. In honor of Overdose Awareness Day, I thought I'd share a little bit about my experience and why I think it's so important that we recognize opioid addiction and the opioid epidemic, and most importantly, recognize those that we've lost. In 2016, I personally experienced multiple overdoses, ended up in the hospital several times, was Narcaned, and thank God was brought back. And I'm one of the lucky ones.
Hi, my name is Nicole Taylor, and I am a person in long-term recovery, which for me means that I found it unnecessary to pick up a drink or a drug since July 28, 2012, when I was 21 years old. Getting sober was the hardest decision in my life because I had to get rid of what I thought my solution to my problem was. And I didn't really understand that the problem was me. I buried not only a boyfriend throughout this process in the 8 years I've been sober, but I've also buried a brother-in-law, best friends, people I grew up in the rooms with of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, people who try to get sober, people who had families, who had children of their own, people who swore that it was their last time ever. And I remember being that person saying, I'm never doing this again.
Hi, my name is Morgan, and I'm 2.5 years sober from alcohol and other drugs. I work with Alumni in Recovery, which is an amazing program you should check out. I know there's other people in this video who are participating. I don't know how to sum up my story. There's just so much, and what I have broken it down into to share with you guys is I started off drinking like every other normal teenager. It's a part of life, it's a part of society, undeniably a part of society, and I just could never have enough. I was never drunk enough. I had no limit, I had no boundaries, I was stupid when I drank, I lost friends, I got in fights with my family, I couldn't hold a relationship for the life of me. And there were so many red flags, so many people telling me throughout high school, afterwards, everyone telling me that, Morgan, you need to stop drinking. I just kept going, denial, denial, denial. I got in an abusive relationship. That alcohol addiction very quickly turned over to drug addiction, which just ended in a very large downward spiral.
Hey guys, my name's Ruben. I'm 22 years old. I'm a grateful recovering addict. I have about 3.5 years clean, and I'm from Clifton, New Jersey. And how has this COVID-19 pandemic affected me and my recovery, and how have I been able to cope with my addiction without being able to make in-person meetings or in-person forms of therapy? So for myself, I know that I am someone who is considered high risk. I have bad asthma. I also have family members and friends who are high risk. They have immune deficiency diseases, and so I've definitely been taking a lot of precautions, and there's a lot to be stressed about, not just with this pandemic during this time. There's a lot going on with, you know, a lot of division and anger and hatred going on in the world, and I think a lot of emotions are already amped up. And anyone knows that for any person, stress and, you know, anger and anxiety isn't good, especially someone who normally would turn to drugs and other substances in order to suppress that want, you know, those feelings.
Addiction does not discriminate. It does not see race, gender, age, or wealth. We must take a stand together to save lives, build a brighter future, and break the stereotypes surrounding these tragic losses. Together we can speak openly and honestly about substance abuse. I dedicate this in loving memory to my precious son, Patrick James Burke Dolan. Patrick was 26 years old and passed on May 19th, 2019. Seems like a day ago, and I still can't believe it. There's a picture over my shoulder of Patrick taken at 5 p.m. on May 18th. We spent the day together, and Patrick's last words were to me, "Bye, Mom, love you."
Addiction does not discriminate. It does not see race, gender, age, or wealth. We must take a stand together to save lives, build a brighter future, and break the stereotype surrounding these tragic losses. Together, we can speak openly and honestly about substance abuse. I dedicate this in loving memory of my oldest son, Raymond Bauer, who lost his battle with addiction on July 22nd, 2019. I love you, and I miss you always. Love, Mom.
I dedicate this in loving memory of my friend Elena, who lost her battle to addiction in 2019. Her smile and her endless positive energy that just radiated, no matter how much she was struggling, no matter how much she was going through. She had hope, which is what we all have to have. We have to have hope for a better future and hope that we can win this battle. My heart is with anyone struggling with this battle right now, and with any soul, may they rest in peace, who has lost this battle of addiction. I know how hard it is. I know others who also know how hard it is. If you are struggling this battle, you are not alone. You're the farthest thing from alone. We need to bring awareness to these things in our society, to the addiction, to the substance abuse. All of this is so prevalent, yet not spoken about nearly as much as it should be. We need to make a difference, and we need to do it now.